chance to know what the latest sports news is in town, chances to win tickets, or just knowing what's going on with all of your favorite KFAN shows.
How can we do it?
You can follow KFAN 1003 on all of our social channels like Instagram, TikTok, and X. To stay connected and follow the sports leader, The Fan.
Sorry, it's a complicated lunch today.
What do you got?
I got some leftover ribeye steak, and I got some vegetables. There's so much here, and I got to get it all sorted exactly right. By the way, we have some breaking news, and this might come as a surprise to a lot of people. Let's do it at 1:15. Amana Heating and Air Conditioning weather forecast. We haven't done it in a year and a half, probably. When did we start not playing licensed music because of the podcast?
Probably a couple of years now.
A couple of years. But you have volunteered. Well, I asked if you would, and you said you would. So I don't know if you really volunteered. You didn't come out and say.
I was voluntold, yes.
Voluntold. I liked it. Yeah, it wasn't like you said, hey, I really miss those Amana Heating and Air Conditioning weather forecasts done on the ramp of Jay Ferguson's Thunder Island. Would you do it if I would remove that music bed from before I put it on the podcast? Because that's actually work for you. I asked you if you would, and you said without a problem. You'd have no issues with it. So, because I get requests for it all the time. I know people just love it. They love the weather forecast. But here's the thing. It's about a 27-second ramp, I think, 27 to 29, before Jay Ferguson starts singing. Can I hit the ramp? Can you make it last? We'll see. Haven't done it in years. Let's see if I'm able to pull that off. That's coming up at 1:15 here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
It's between that and the other Olivia Newton-John song that I love.
We can do that one too, the KQDI.
Yeah.
And then we might even, before the week's over, do another Dylan duet, which we haven't done for a couple of years as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming up on these are the things that people are clamoring for, asking for, demanding, and asking you shall receive. We're going to do it a little bit later. But right now it's time for 534.
Time now for 5 questions. Well, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
Brought to you by Willow River Company.
Question number 1.
It's time now to consider the course.
The Players' Championship just wrapped up yesterday. A controversial and dramatic final round. It seemed
like controversy?
Well, it was Ludwig Obergs. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Obergs. Obergs. It was his tournament to lose. He was up by as much as, I think, 4 strokes at one point, and then the old Pete Dye water monster swallowed up 2 of his shots, just nowhere near any sort of grass whatsoever. He falls way out of the picture, and then becomes a competition between Matt Fitzpatrick and Cam Young down one of the best stretches. Would you say it's the best stretch in golf, like a 3-hole stretch? 16, 17, 18?
I think 17's a little overrated.
Really?
Well, because, and look, every golf course is created, right? I mean, they move earth. Every golf course is different. Back in the olden days, back in the years of Donald Ross and Alistair McKenzie and a lot of the olden guy designers, they moved earth, but they did it with like a plow and a couple of oxen, right? Now they have earth movers and they dig big ponds and so it's, I guess what I'm trying to say is it's just, let's build an island green. It seems so manufactured to me that, but there's a lot of pressure there. I mean, it's generally no more than a 9-iron for any of those guys. I know it's not the biggest green in the world, but it shouldn't be. From players at that level should be able to hit that on a fairly regular basis. But yeah, 16's deadly, and then 18 is maybe as hard as it gets. So it is. It's a very trying 3-hole stretch to finish. It could be. I guess you could consider it the very the very toughest in golf.
Because a lot of golf courses have like the bear trap, the snake pits, the green mile, Amen Corner, these stretches of golf. But that's right up there for me as far as dangerous, but also beautiful. I get its manufactured as well. We also saw Cam Young hit one of the best shots. I think they said in like the shot link era, like off the drive on 18. He said in the post tournament it was going to be over the ball. He said, "I'm about to hit the best shot of my life." Yeah, and he did. Exactly so, what was your thoughts overall? The Players Championship.
I thought it was high drama. I enjoyed it very much. I generally don't root against golfers. I harbor no ill will toward them. Though if someone's running away with it on a Saturday, I'm not going to deny that I don't mind them, hitting one into the rubbish and coming back to the pack a little bit. Oberg had a 3-shot lead going into Sunday, which isn't insurmountable, as we saw. 2 swings did him in. Yep. He hit it in the water on 11 and on 12. 12, I think he doubled. He doubled one of the 2. I don't remember which one was the double. And that basically did him in. Every player, though, if you look back, getting a double bogey is kind of rare for the guys that are in the hunt. I mean, guys that go 36 holes without making a bogey, much less making a double or a triple. But everybody had their issues. I think JT, I get my days mixed up. Thomas on Saturday, I think it was, had like a quad. He just totally fell apart. You take away the quad, you don't. It's like taking away Kafka's 68, 78, 98, or 88, 98 yard runs. The Gophers are in that game against Northwestern. But Corey, the kid that won, Young, Cam Young, he had a double bogey on 18 the day before, right? Yeah. We saw what happened to Oberg. So it seems like almost every player, even Zandy had I think he had a triple or a quad. So the course reared its ugly head on every player at least once. But so Oberg goes by the wayside, and then it was a battle between Young and Fitzpatrick, and obviously the difference became on 17. Fitzpatrick's got a 1-shot lead. He played it, whether he was playing it conservatively or not, I don't know, but he hit it to the middle of the green. Yeah. And Cam Young at that point. Now, Young, if you followed his story, I think he's won one event, and it was kind of a minor event. I mean, any event on the PGA Tour is cool. You win it. When you win it, that means that weekend, that week, you were the best player in the world for that week. And you get a nice paycheck. But he had like 7 runner-up finishes, and he had never won. If you want to call this a major, I guess I call it a maybe a 3/4 of a major. However, we just talked about that. But I think he decided at this point, I'm not here to place. I'm down a shot, and he just stuffed one into 9 feet. He went ahead and went for it, made the putt, ties it up, and then, like you say, he hit the best shot. 375-yard drive.
Yeah.
I mean, that almost seems impossible. I know you got those long drive guys who do those long drive competitions. They'll hit it 400 yards, but they never know where it's going. They're just swinging as hard as they possibly can and letting it rip, right? But to hit it 375, Fitzy, he misses. He hits it into the rubbish on the right, into the pine straw or the mulch, whatever it is. He does the smart thing. He's not going to get there from there. He lays up. Then Young actually hit his a little bit longer than he should have, so he's just off the green on the back. Fitzy gets a little aggressive, pitches it to about 8 feet. Young comes from back, and he only hits it about, what, foot past the pin, maybe a foot and a half at the most, if that. So he's got tapping. He marks, though. And then Fitz, if he makes it, it's definitely a draw, and he misses an 8-footer just on the right edge. And then I saw Young said, in a post-game quote I saw, or maybe he actually said it. I think it was right after. He said, I never really had it lined up. I was so nervous. He said, I probably shouldn't even have tried to putt it at that point, but he just decided to go ahead and swing, and he made it. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a good tournament leading up now. Now they have a handful more before the Masters, but yeah, high drama, solid golf. I do like golf courses that push these guys. That rough was just diabolical.
Yeah.
I mean, that ball would go in there. You can't even see the golf ball. It's just disappeared. It's gone. And that's the way it should be for those guys. I mean, even 13 under, I think, won. I mean, again, I'm not idolizing and pedestalizing, but you and I both play the game. We know how difficult it is for chops. At that level, they're still shooting 13 under on over 4 days on a course it's as brutal as anything out there. So, But it was fun to watch. Yeah, I liked it.
Question number 2.
It's time now to consider the course.
Yeah, we're not repeating a segment, but there's more golf to be talked about. Are you familiar with a guy by the name of Brian Rolap? He's the new CEO for the PGA Tour. He's taken over from Monahan, who everyone loved. Sarcasm.
Did they not love him?
No, not a lot of people did with the way he handled the live situation.
Oh, yeah.
But so Brian comes from an NFL background, and he did a kind of a press conference earlier last week where he laid out, like, here's what we're thinking. It's not it's not a baked cake yet, but here's kind of what we're thinking. And they want to reschedule the whole tour and basically go against the NFL. So whenever the NFL is not going, the PGA Tour would be going. But the biggest one that I want to talk to you about, obviously you don't change. We talked about not changing the majors. There's only 4. Tradition, golf. You know what there's not a lot of tradition in is the Tour Championship, like the FedEx Cup. Like that's in terms of golf, it's a fairly new thing. He's saying we're looking into doing match play. Yeah, and I'm here to tell you, you might disagree with this. I'm all in. I think a March Madness style. I mean, we've got Rory McIlroy, who's the 2 seed, taking on the 125 Frankie Sappin. Match play straight up, 18 holes. I'm in. Like, I think that yes, could they get upset and you don't have Scotty in the Final Four? That is a possibility. But I think for a playoff, that makes more sense than what they do now, which is basically just another tournament, and you could be mediocre all year long and somehow get in, where you actually get rewarded for having a good season by getting a higher seed and getting a better matchup. I think the match play, I'm all in on it. Common, would you consider changing the Tour Championship?
If you were a defense attorney, I would still, as a juror, say your client is guilty. I don't. I mean, I understand what you're saying, and I'm not totally against it. Here's the only problem I have with it as a viewer of golf. When you get down to the final, when it's McIlroy against Scheffler, let's say a match play, it's cool, right?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but you know what it is? You watch them each hit their drive. Then there's 6-7 minutes till they walk to their next ball where nothing's going on, and you're just listening to announcers rambling about what they're going to do. Then they get up and stare at their ball and decide what to do and throw up the grass, and they hit their shot to the green or the bunker or the rough, whatever. Then they walk up again. There's so much downtime in match play. The beauty of stroke play for golf on television is, let's go out to 17, back to 12, out to 14. Oh, look at the trouble that so-and-so has in trouble. Once you get down to the match play, that's why when they do the United States Amateur, they do match play, but they'll have first place and second and then third place, right? So there's 2 going on. But do you really care who wins third place? I don't. I mean, again, I whoever wins it, good for you. Maybe you'll be off on your way to a nice professional career. But so that would be the reason I would be against it. I understand the excitement of match play, but there's way too much. It's like listening to 3 hours of a common man program. It just goes on and on and on and on. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
I do. I'm the type of sicko now where I would love just listening to their caddy and them go back and forth on, maybe this is an 8-iron, maybe a flighted 9-iron. Oh, maybe a soft 7.
Did you read
I love listening to
Did
that.
you read the caddy story in The Athletic?
No.
Well, do you subscribe to The Athletic?
I do.
Then you have to see it. There's a caddy story that just talks about the relation. It's nothing really anything new, but just talks about the relationship between caddies and players. And there's several caddies they focus on that they've been on 4 or 5 different bags. There was one story where, I don't know if they mentioned the golfer. Maybe they don't. So maybe the story was made up. Anyway, the golfer asks his caddy, hey, take my phone and video my swing, right? We're at the range before the tournament, before the round starts. Well, he says as he's filming his swing, a message pops up from the golfer's wife that says, "Did you fire him yet?" That's how we found out he's going to be fired. Because it talks about some of the different times where they had to let caddies go, and if there's bad blood. I mean, there's the one where, and I don't remember which golfer it is. You have to read it. It's if you like golf and you're into that caddy golfer relationship, you'll love it. And it talks about how, like, two of the guys, they've been McIlroy is like best friends with his caddy and has been for a long. Imagine if you had to let that guy go. Now, he doesn't need to. He seems like that's a pretty good working relationship between the two, right? But just think about, there are times where it's just like, it ain't working anymore and you got to go up to caddy. And sometimes I wonder, a lot of times I think golfer guys he's looking for a fall guy, right? The Chris Carter, you got to have a fall guy. So what's got to be it can't be me.
Hey, you told me it broke left.
Yeah. No, maybe it was you. One of us is bad luck. And so that's how it is. So, but no, I think I like it just the way it is. I like just having stroke play.
And that's it for today's edition of 5 Questions. Well, actually, 3 questions, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
If you thought that was fun, informative, controversial, just wait till you get a load of the Amana brand heating and air conditioning weather forecast. We're going to do that next.
I can't believe it.
It's been 2 years. Can Common hit the post? Can you make $6 million a year last? Can he hit the post? We'll find out next. Common Man Program on the Fan. Take that, Havoc Museum. Apparently not good enough for the Pavic. Not only that, you know what else I heard? Congratulations to my good friend Mitch Davis. Mitch has taken over for Greg Swedberg as the senior vice president of programming, iHeart Minneapolis. He's on his way to Nashville, and he's a finalist for New Faces of Country Award. The New Faces of Country. So just another iHeart employee in Minneapolis having accolades showered down upon him. You and I are the only ones that aren't being...
No respect.
Or do you have some kind of special award you've been given that I don't know about yet?
Still waiting.
Producer of the year?
Yeah.
Fill-in of the year?
Nothing.
So, good luck to Rich.
Yeah.
We wish him the very best. So he's, that'd be cool. New face of country.
Texter's loving the weather report. You're back.
Well, think about this. Is there, somebody else said, Thunder Island, teasing Thunder Island before the break has me like a kid waiting to open presents at Christmas morning. Please give Brett a well done, young man. Well done, young man.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was very nice.
That's my award. I just got.
Yeah. And that's all you really need, right?
Yep.
I mean, just a verbal slap on the back, okay, or a text slap on the back. This one says, "Welcome back to the spotlight, young man. I feel 2 years younger hearing you hit the post like that." This one says, "And he's back. Let's play."
Who says you don't have it anymore?
So now, how much extra work do you have to do now? Like, what do you have to do? Oh, is that really it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not the end of the world. At the end of the segment, I'll just go back and cut her out.
Let's say you were the full-time producer of the program, and I said, I want to go back to regular licensed music. Because I think people, we've explained this 1,400 times. Back, all music licensing on, are we terrestrial radio, or are we... Is that what regular? Which is the one that's on satellite? Is that terrestrial or are we terrestrial?
I think we're terrestrial.
Okay, on terrestrial radio, ASCAP, the American Society of Composers and whatever, and then BMI, that's your body mass index.
Yes.
IBM, whatever it is.
FBI, CIA,
baby,
yeah.
Rock, blah, 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 blah. So they license all music, and that's how they determine how much radio stations, anybody that has music, they do the ASCAP BMI for if you have live music at a bar, you have to pay a fee. If you have a jukebox, you have to pay a fee. If you have Muzak, you have to pay a fee, because if you wrote, let's say you wrote a hit song, right? And that song keeps getting played over and over again. Well, you need to get paid for that. They're using your work to make money in a roundabout way. You know, playing the music in the bar makes people like to go to the bar. They like the music that's being played, whatever the case may be. But guess what? When those licenses were signed on the dotted line, there was no such thing as podcasts.
Yep.
So now, if you try using a podcast, they go, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, the ASCAP BMI, the record companies, the producers, the artists go, whoa, 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 wait a minute. And I don't blame them, right? Well, then, for every song we play on the radio, that's fine, because we already are licensed for that. But now if we do it in a podcast, we'd have to sign a new license, which would probably cost a company like iHeart millions of dollars a year. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Do your show. No one comes for the music when you're doing a talk show, so sorry. But let's say we have 9 segments, bumping in, bumping out, man, that'd be a lot of extra time you'd have to put in as a producer to the show, because it'd take a couple of minutes per each segment.
Yeah. Just depends on if the site we use wants to cooperate or not,
right,
which goes back and forth. I'd be willing to do like 1 or 2 a show, but I'd rather not do the entire show, because that would be a lot. This
one says, just got misty-eyed, like seeing a long-lost loved one. I kind of thought of it that way as well. This one says, give me the access and I'd be happy to edit so we can have real music. There's somebody that'd be willing to do it. But can we trust them? Because they have to get it right.
Yep.
We can't let anything slip through the cracks. How about we tease this? 2:15 Dylan duet.
Oh.
I've wanted to do a Dylan duet so bad for so long. We just have to decide what song we want to do Dylan duet to.
Yeah.
We're taking nominations. At the Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line, 64686. 64686. What song do you want Common to do a Dylan duet for?
This is exciting.
This is what Major Market Radio is all about.
That's right.
We'll take a break, come back. I am going to talk to you about the Wild. We'll do that next. Common Man Program on the Fan.
Catch every tournament upset and every highlight with the Fan at Hop House. You can join almost everybody. Guardsy, Meat Sauce, Parker, Halvey, Max for Bracket Bash watch parties this Thursday, tipping off at 11, 2, and 5. They catch college hoops on the big screens, prizes flowing all day, including 65-inch TVs. Get all the details now, KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Couple 13-14 past Common Man Program. The Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line is blowing up with ideas for song suggestions for the Dylan duet that will come your way at 2:15. About 2 years since we've done a Dylan duet. It's coming your way, courtesy of the Common Man and Brett Blakemore, who has said he will go ahead and remove that so that it doesn't air on the podcast, so we're not sued for $438,936.
You have to be here.
For playing licensed music. You'll have to be here live.
Yep.
And in living color. So, the Minnesota Wild lose 3 in a row. Not 1, not 2, but 3 in a row. They lose to, yesterday was Toronto, I think. A game that I heard they had considered postponing because of the blizzard, but then they played the game anyways and probably would have been better off had we postponed that game. And then 2 losses to... who were the others? We lost the Rangers. That's a last place club too, right?
Yep. And then the Flyers.
And the Flyers.
All at home.
All at home. All losses. The team is having an extraordinarily successful season. It's well documented. Slow start to the season, then boom, after about a week or two, team took off, and they haven't looked back. They traded for Minnesota. That took a team that was already one of the best teams in the league to another level. and they made some other moves just before the trade deadline. They've added some other nice pieces, and I think everybody felt like, here we go. And 3 losses at this stage of the season doesn't mean it's time for sad eyes. But can you explain what's happened here? Is this coming out flat? They're not getting Wolvesitis, are they?
I think they might have been infected. I think they might have somehow stumbled their way over to Minneapolis and Target Center. And now they're infected. Because
it seems like they have Wolvesitis. Is there anything, or is it just, hey, I mean, it's the old, you can't win them all, right? And this team has rarely even had back-to-back losses, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's happened much this year, if I remember correctly. And so they seem to, their record alone would suggest they're one of the best teams in hockey. So, as we often use during 5-3-4, patience or panic, what are you preaching?
I would say still patience, but short term is definitely, like, things have to change. You can't just ride this out and say, well, we'll just keep doing the same thing over and over again. Like, things do have to change. They did end up shuffling the lines towards the end of the game yesterday, where they loaded a top line with Kaprizov, Ek, and Boldy, and put Tarasenko in Kaprizov's spot. But something had to happen. And to me, all 3 games had the same exact flow, where the first couple periods, you come out like you've already won the thing. You come out kind of not going through the motions, but just, a little bit of the Wolvesitis. We see where we are in the standings. We see where you are in the standings, and we're going to come out and, winning is just going to come naturally. Well, it turns out it doesn't. And then by the time you get to the end of the second, start of the third, all of a sudden we got to go. Like, we got to start turning up the pressure now. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But this year, in years past, they've had that magic where they can come from behind. Lately, they just haven't. They got a couple goals yesterday from Tarasenko, too, and then just were stonewalled. Against the Rangers, they put up like 40-some shots. Couldn't get one by. No quality chances. So too little, too late. So I do think they have to change something. But long-term playoffs, I'm not worried in the slightest. I still think this should be a temporary thing. But, if we're talking about this next week, like my last day with you, and we're still talking about what's going on at the Wild, I might switch to panic. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Now I'm struggling. I'd saved a story, I can't find it, of course, because that's just the way I operate. But there were some quotes from the coach. And now that story seems to have escaped me.
I can give you the Cliff Notes because I heard it.
Well, after each game, he had a different opinion as to what happened.
Yeah.
Where is that story? Why can't I find that? Because it was shoot. Was it an athletic story? Maybe it was in the athletic blog. Oh, I'm going to find it because I think it's I don't know if the coach even really knows for sure what to say or what to do. Oftentimes coaches will do that where they will after a loss, they may be a bit on the annoyed side, and they'll say something and then realize, well, that's really not the message I should really be sending to the club right now. Here it is. I think this is it. After Thursday, this is Joe Smith. He writes for Athletic, covering the Wild, along with Russo. This one says, for the third straight game, the Wild lost a home game to a non-playoff team. But this time, Coach John Hines' messaging was a bit different. After Thursday's shootout loss to the Flyers, Hines was a bit critical of the team's mentality, saying winning is not inevitable. And I like that the coach said that, because I think what happens is when your team has been as successful as the Wild has this year, and the way they just continue to find ways to win, it's probably, pardon me, it's probably not too difficult to get into the mindset that we're going to find a way to win. You'll hear this from teams sometimes too. You're just waiting for somebody else to make the play, right? Because somebody always does. I talk about it in basketball, especially when you get to those, when you're in your travel basketball, when the kids are still young. Most teams have one kid he's their best player. And he's usually a great shooter, Great ball handler. Does everything really well. And how he goes, so goes the team, right? So if you're able to slow that kid down, you're the opposition, okay, deny him the ball, get a hand in his face, pressure him all the time, that team is not going to be as successful. And if you do that to little Billy, let's say it's Billy, and Billy's not scoring, all the other kids on the team go, well, wait a minute. Now, Billy usually scores. Billy's not scoring. What do we do now? And the other kids aren't used to being the guy and making the shots, and that's where you hope to have a more balanced team. And this isn't to say that's what's happening with the Wild, but if you're on a team as good as the Wild, someone always steps up. It's either Quinnesota, it's Kaprizov, it's Boldy, it's Eriksson Ek. Give me some other names. Hurry up.
Johansson.
It's either Johansson.
Foligno.
It's either Foligno. And now we
Faber.
It's Faber. Who's the player with his brother's with us now?
Also Foligno.
It's either Foligno or it's Foligno or it's
Hughes,
whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah.
Quinnesota. And maybe that's not happening. But I like what he says. Winning's not inevitable. It's just like, well, just because we're generally win all of our games doesn't mean we're going to win. After Saturday's regulation loss to the last in the Eastern Conference New York Rangers, Heinz City was considering changes to their routines. Optional morning skates, practices, because of the Wild's inability to start on time and play to their standard. Apparently, they were getting off to slow starts, body clock, circadian rhythm, coming out, dare I say, flat, which I think anybody that listens to the show on a regular basis rolls their eyes, shrugs their shoulders, and shakes their head at anybody suggesting a professional team comes out flat. There is absolutely zero excuse for coming out flat. I don't even believe teams come out flat. I just think the other team wanted it more. That's isn't that another one of those cliches that's so preposterous? Really? They want it. Don't you want it really bad? Don't you, when you hit the ice, don't you want to win? How can another team want to win it more? That's not possible. You either want to win or you don't. After Sunday's 4-2 loss to the Maple Leafs, Heinz tried to pump the brakes on any concern over this recent stretch by the Wild, who have dropped 4 of their last 5. Yeah, thank you. And are 4-4-2 since the Olympic break. 4-4-2 is a team that's like a 500 club, isn't it? That's a team that
essentially, yeah.
They win 4 of 10, they lose 4 of 10, and they tie 2 of 10. Here's what he said. Okay, we lost 3 games. Did we get outplayed in the games? No. What could we have deserved, or did we deserve better? What could we have deserved, or did we deserve better? Probably. We didn't like our starts in the last 2 games. Sunday, great start. So those are the things to me that are the big ones. It's not overcomplicating what's going on. We know we want to win. We know we got to go to Chicago and win a game and get back on the right foot. And that's part of seeing how you respond in these type of situations, right? And there's times we've had great stretches and we didn't get too high. And in these, you don't get too low. It is what it is. And so it almost feels like he was kind of, I'm nose bleeding again. I'm sorry. I'm a mess, by the way. My nose is starting to bleed. Hold on. I gotta stanch the bleeding. I gotta stuff something up in my nose. I gotta stuff some napkin in there. There we go. Now I just about ate the napkin. What was I talking about? Oh, so hold on. The napkin I stuffed up my nose had some shreds hanging from it. When I started talking, They sucked up into my mouth. Did you see that?
I did. Yeah. This happens to PA a lot too.
He gets nosebleeds?
Yeah. And then he'll start talking like this.
Oh.
To whatever guest he has on. I
heard that he today addressed the idea that he was always on Friday after I'd had several people tell me on the Bradshaw and Bright KFAN text line that PA had always kind of been a negative when it comes to Kyler Murray. And now that he's been signed by soon-to-be big-game world champion Minnesota Vikings, he's changed his tune. He denied that, apparently, today. And he said, people aren't listening close enough, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. But that's what I'd been told by people I trust. But I'm sorry. I apologize, PA. If you've always been a big Kyler Murray guy, then so be it. So the coach, after the first loss, does the old it's not inevitable, guys. You got to go up. I don't know if he said it like that, but that's the way I interpret it. Like, I know you just think all you got to do is go out there and put your skates on and we're going to win, drop the puck and someone's going to win the game for us, but it's not always that way. Then after the loss number 2, it's almost like threatening, like what Tennessee would do the Thanksgiving Day bag skate. He would threaten the team on Thanksgiving Day. If I'm a parent of a player, what if I'm going over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house I go, and you're going to tell me that my kid has to be there for a bag skate? I'd bag that, man. So then it's almost like, well, maybe we're going to change our routine. Maybe you got to come in a little earlier. Maybe we have to do this or do that or the other thing to get us back on track. Then after a third loss, the coach starts thinking, well, I don't need a rebellion either, right? Because maybe guys hear that and they go, John, relax. It's a couple of losses. We're locked in our position. That's the other thing. Is there complacency? Can you make that last? Is there complacency with this club? Where it's a long grind, I get it. It's 82 games, just like the NBA, long grind, travel, circadian rhythms, body clocks, all those things. That is human nature where you just get a little, I don't want to say disinterested, but a little bit of a, maybe it's not quite there. I think that I don't like to accept that. I guess maybe that's just the way it is. Maybe I expect as much from the local teams as I expect from you and I, right? I expect tip-top performance every single time. Treat every show just like the show before and the next show coming up. And just like treat each game with the same amount of it's the word I'm looking for. The same amount of urgency, right?
Yeah.
It's another game. We got to win. Now, they're sort of locked in there, but they're going to either be second or third, right? I mean, it's literally impossible for them. Not as impossible as it is to get every one of your picks right in the NCAA 64 team men's basketball tournament. But it would be almost impossible to catch Colorado. Where are we in second or third right now with
my guess would be third, the way that they're going. But yeah, the last I checked, they have a pretty significant.
But we're not falling a wild card, right?
Probably not. The Mammoths have 74 points. The Wild have 88.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be in third.
So that's not happening.
Yeah.
So and I know the comeback will be, oh, you sure are hard on the Wolves. How come you're not as hard on the Wild? Well, the Wild, and look, I know the Wolves have a nice record, but the Wild at least have a little bit of it's the word I'm looking for. I'm struggling for another word now.
Equity?
Equity, that's exactly the word. They got a little equity. They just do, Mm-hmm. Now, get back to me if they keep losing games, but
in the playoffs, it's the opposite.
Yeah, right. So,
yes, regular season.
So where they are right now, I'm okay with it. But it almost seems like the coach isn't sure exactly what to think or what to say, because after the first game, it was, hey, it's not inevitable. Then it was about to change things up a little bit. Let's not panic now, guys. It's no big deal. We know we got to win, and we'll get back on track with the Chicago. And the Blackhawks are awful, right?
They're the worst. They gave us Foligno for nothing.
And did I see this? Did I read this in the story? Do they have a home with Chicago? Don't they play back-to-back games with Chicago? So if that can't... Now, if we lose one, heaven forbid, 2 to the Blackhawks, well, then get back to me. Then it's like, oh, wait a minute now, guys. What's going on here? Have you hit a wall? Maybe they've hit a little bit of a wall. That can happen, too, when you play at the level that you've been playing at. So because of a little bit of equity. Meanwhile, the Wolves yesterday, and let's get to that on the other side of the break. The Wolves played the best team in basketball, the defending NBA champs. It was a high noon showdown in OKC against, it was the national game. And I think they led at the half. But then third quarter kind of got away, and the Wolves kind of just, they did that Wolves thing that they do where it's just, it's not all there for them. Julius Randle, well, we'll talk about it. Let's do this. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Other side of the break, we'll talk a little Wolves basketball. Don't forget, 2:15, Dylan DeWitt for the first time in 2 years. It's a big moment for all of us. Tell your friends, your neighbors, your family.
Yeah.
Tell anybody. We'll do that coming up at 2:15 right here on The Fan.